welcome back everybody to Mega Man 4. We are proceeding along. I'm gonna fight a wily boss. This is the boss that I mistook for a Dr. Cossack boss. I thought this was flip-flop with another one of his robots. Obviously not. This one's pretty easy if you have, excuse me, if you have, Ringman's power, it's pretty simple. The see little dot on his head? Yeah, it's the only place you can hit him. Probably, if you're good enough, you could probably also do this with your Buster. Mainly just by charging up, I would imagine. We're gonna end up doing this with, Ringman, though. Unfortunately, I don't have any Ringman right now, so I'm gonna have to go back and charge it back up. So, that's what we're gonna do here, so... Gonna be a little bit of fast forwarding again, I think. And then, yeah. That'll be about it. I'm not too much... I played way too much, just, I guess, a backstory. I played way too much of this game. Like... I spent more time probably trying to get through this game than I did with Mega Man 1 and 2, maybe even 3 combined. Just because, I mean, you get infinite continues, but as soon as you stop, you have to pick up, you know, where you left off. I know starting in 2, they do have a code system, whatever you want to call it, so you can pick up after, you know, what you left off with, so... but for the most part, you know, Mega Man's... I think this is sort of, in terms of difficulty, at least until you get past the first, I guess we'll say of the original 7, or 6, 7 Mega Mans, we'll count 6. Because there was 7 was on the SNES, and 8 was on a PlayStation 1. So let's just say of the original 6, this is probably the most difficult one, in my opinion anyways. You might say that, well, 2's kind of difficult in certain sections, but, you know, they also have the ability to get around certain difficult portions using Rush Jet and that. And I don't think 5 is as difficult. The levels tend to be more difficult, but the Robot Masters definitely are not. And then 6, I just found 6 to be way too easy. Maybe it's because I've been playing all of the Mega Mans in order. So when I got to 6, it was like way easy. And 7 has a... It's not a bad game, it just has this weird issue where you're used to Mega Man's proportions, you're used to, you know, the size of him on the screen, and you're used to his jump arcs, and now you're going to move it in the SNES era, and he's going to become his sprite's going to be much bigger, and I don't want to say his jump arc is different, but it feels different. And because you're a bigger sprite, there's definitely less room to maneuver, which makes that game more difficult in my opinion. I mean, maybe not as difficult as this, but like, I think it has its challenges, definitely. But that's a game that I don't think you're meant to play through, like, you know, you just do a quick run through the game is what I'm trying to say. I think that's one of those Mega Man's like X, where you're supposed to go through, and then you're supposed to come back later on when you've got certain power-ups or certain moves. Yeah, don't ask why I switched out to the Buster here, I just did. Just so I could dance around his corpse, I guess. And this moves us into the Robot Master area of Wily's castle. So we're going to face 8 Robot Masters, and then we're going to have to take on Wily. Unlike in 6, I'm not 6. Unlike in 3, where you fight the Robot Masters, then you fight Wily separately, they're making you do the what I call the Wily Gauntlet, which is you got to go through all 8 Robot Masters on one continue, and then you got to beat Wily. And if you don't do it, start over from the beginning. And I find that, depending on how difficult Wily is, I find that to be very obnoxious. Because he's like very difficult. In most games, he's very difficult. And this game is no exception to that rule either. Like, you might think, oh, well, whatever. You know, I'll just get good at it. Like, they introduce a new concept that has not been in any of the other Wily fights up to this point, and it's a bit ridiculous in my book. And I'll explain when we get there. But for now, we still got a little bit of, I guess, progression to make so we can get back to the bosses. Not sure why they do this. This is sort of a weird thing that they've done in both 3 and 4, which is requiring you to go through a certain amount of a level before you actually have to fight the Robot Masters. As if, like, fuck you before you get fucked. Yeah, I don't care about that. Here's the Robot Masters. I'm gonna try to do them in the same order as I always do them, counterclockwise from the top. Why? I don't know. It's just a bad habit of mine. Particularly when I don't know who I'm gonna fight. Fuck you, Drill Man. So there are different cycles that he can go through that makes him more or less difficult. If he's constantly digging in the ground, Drill Man's very easy. If he's out doing what he's doing right now, which is shooting these little drill bombs at you, he can be very difficult. And mind you, of course, you got homing missiles on him, which highly negates the difficulty of this battle. But, you could still do it with Buster Cannon, too. Alright, this is Bright Man. Or Flash, whatever he is. Bright Man. He is defeated by Toad. As I mentioned in an earlier episode. While Toad's not used at all in any of the Wily missions / Cossack missions. So you don't really have to worry about using up all of Toadman's power. Oops. And that can happen sometimes too, where you die and Brightman dies. And unlike in Mega Man 1, you get credit for actually beating him. So this is me double checking to make sure Brightman's dead. He is. So we'll move on to the next one, I guess. Fuck Dust Man. Good old Skull Man. This is going to be standard procedure with Skull Man, which is going to be, I'm going to do as much damage as I can, and then inevitably I'm going to have to use an E-Tank. I'm just not good enough against him, I guess. I don't know. There are a lot of Robot Masters that I can beat in the Mega Man series without having to use any E-Tanks. And him and Ring Man are like two that you can get by, if you get lucky, you can get by them without using an E-Tank. I end up inevitably having to use one against while I'm fighting Skull Man. It's just not worth your time to mess around with him. If you've got a spare E-Tank, it's just better to use it and save, this for later. almost dying here. That did not work out super great for me. Alright, we got Frogman, or Toadman, and, well, there's Toadman. I was gonna say I have Toadman, Pharaoh Man, I did Bright. A little heads up for you. You may not want to use drill power on him. You may just want to stick with your Buster, because drill is one of the things you need to keep in reserve for Wily. I'm gonna die. That was inevitable. If I had found, if Pharaoh Man had been right here, I would end up with full life because I would just use Bright Man's power and just completely negate the fight, but I ran into Dust Man instead. So we lose life, but that's okay, I've got plenty of lives to play with. Yes, and that's how you defeat Dust Man, by jumping over his thing in the center, right as it's about to explode. Yep, just like that. If you miss time it even by a little bit, you will take damage. And he is invincible, unfortunately, whenever he does that. But it does allow you to do a lot of damage because it's a very easy attack to evade. Ta-da! So we got Pharaoh Man and, who else? Pharaoh Man and Ring Man. Still got Ring Man to deal with, which kind of sucks. There's Pharaoh. He's a free win. Him and Toadman. If you're trying to do this and you don't want to use any of your E-tanks, basically what you want to do is you want to take on one of the more difficult bosses. Provided you live, then you either take on Toadman or Pharaoh Man. They're free victories, essentially. And that allows you to re-heal some of your health that you maybe weren't able to get whenever you defeated the previous Robot Master. And then use that, I guess, to feed the others. I got him, I might as well spend him. I just Ring Man Wily and that's it. Yeah, don't do that though. And I missed the health up. That's okay, I guess. Only a little bit of health. Alright, so now we're gonna fight Wily. Wily is... I don't know if he has a weakness on this first form. It doesn't really matter because it's like a gimme form. And then the second form takes all the, you take all of the, how easy the first half is, and you pile all of the difficulty into the second half. So, one of the nice things, I guess, about this Wily boss is he's programmed in such a way if I stand right here, he can't hit me. So he fires 3 little blobs, and then he pauses for a second to let you hit him, and he fires 3 more blobs, and he just goes up and down like this. This phase is very simple, but the second half of his phase is very difficult. And I'll explain in a minute. I'm gonna die here though. So you see a little, much like all of the other buttons that we've been having to hammer on this game. Yeah, a little button there can only be damaged by using drill power. But guess what? You can't jump that high. So what you gotta do is you gotta throw the drill power, and right as it's about to hit the Wily machine and dink off of it, you press the button again and cause it to explode. And the explosion damage is what deals damage to its weak point, I guess. And it's very obnoxious. Because if you don't time it right, you're gonna take damage, and you don't, depending on how well or how poorly you've prepared for this fight, you may be fucked. You might have to take it like another couple continues and collect some E-tanks, or you might just get really good at the phase and not have to worry about this at all. I don't know. It's just some happy horse shit is all. As you can see at the height of my jump, I can't quite reach his nose. And this isn't Mega Man 2 where I can just summon Rush Jet, or Mega Man 3 where I can just summon Rush Jet and just plow through him. And that's how you fight Dr. Wily. And guess what? If I died there, I didn't have any more drill power, which means, you know what? I'm going right back to the start, because there's no way for me to fucking get more drill power. Noxious as hell. And much like Mega Man's 2 and 3, you beat Wily, but now there's another portion of Wily you have to beat. This isn't nearly as difficult as fighting Wily in Mega Man, or Alien Wily in Mega Man 2. But it does kind of get to that point of where some of these last phase Wily stages are a bit bullshit. Like at a certain point, you're like not designed to beat Wily at all. Oh, that was nice of them. Unfortunately, now I gotta go, because they didn't give me any weapon, ammunition here. I gotta go farm weapon ammunition because I need Pharaoh Man power in order to beat Wily. Fortunately, I just accidentally used some Pharaoh Man's power, so I'm gonna have to go get a little bit more so I can make sure that I have a full tank of Pharaoh Man before we fight. There we go. Alright, this is the second half of the Wily fight. It blows. I mean, it's not super terribly difficult, but this is the whole fight. Whenever it flashes, it lets you know where Wily's at, but he's only there for a second. So I just basically do this, which is hold on to Pharaoh Man and run back and forth in the hopes that he's above me, and then I'll just damage him. But yeah, that's what you want to do, is sort of jump out of the way. Yeah, see there, he was right there. Yeah, I got a little lucky there. I think it's like 3 full-powered Pharaoh Man shots to kill him. So it's not super terribly difficult, but you don't know where he's at, so unlike the alien fight where you're just trying to avoid the alien, he's hiding somewhere and you're stuck on this 2D plane. Alright, that's how you do it. Unlike Mega Man 3, we're not going to pretend that Wily died. He's just going to escape like this. And cause a self-destruct to his laboratory. And he flies away in his little flying saucer thing that's on fire or broken or whatever. And the castle blows up. And a big skull-shaped atomic blast-looking thing. Planner! It's Mega Man 4. A very difficult game. I don't say I particularly enjoy playing it because of how difficult it is. But, I don't know. It's fun. It's still fun to play. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing Mega Man 4. It's just... It's very challenging. I wouldn't say it's my criticism of this. It's just... in terms of difficulty, it's sort of like... This is the high point of Mega Man difficulty, at least until you get to, like... I've never played Mega Man's 9, 10, 11... I don't know if there's a 12 or not, but... I've never played any of the later Mega Man games because I never bothered to buy them. Everything 1 through 8 was on an anniversary collection for the PlayStation 2. So I played them all there. Sound composer. Bun Bun. I like that. That's a good name, Bun Bun. Bright Man. This guy. Toad Man. Girl Man. I don't mind. A lot of these characters still at this point are definitely... you're starting to get into copycat territory, but they're, for the most part, still unique. They're still interesting. There's nothing that feels like out and out, like it ripped off a previous Mega Man. When we get into the next one, Mega Man 5, that's when I start to feel like they're reusing shit. And the games are starting to get a little bit lazy. But what are you gonna do? I mean, you put out 6 Mega Man games all on the NES. What do you expect? Anyways, I'm gonna let the rest of these credits play out, and then little Ed's gonna come out and he's gonna be like, Capcom! And then that's gonna be the end. So, until next time when we play Mega Man 5, I will see you guys later. So have a good one.